All right, we are live. Oh, counter reset. We'll just get this started. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We are continuing our series of things to do in the Treasure Valley, southwest Idaho. We've done Treasure Valley as a whole. We've done Meridian, and we're going to drill into Boise itself. We're going to look at things to do for recreation, some sports, the parks to see, entertainment. We're going to cover a lot of ground. We've decided we're going to try to keep it fairly condensed today. So if you have any follow-up questions or want a part two, let us know. But we're going to go through it fairly quickly to get you a lot of info and a lot of value. We've got Chase Hodgson back as co-host today. How are you doing today, Chase?
I'm doing amazing, Jerod. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, absolutely. We always love having you. A wealth of knowledge and just great to have on. So we're gonna do a rapid fire today, I guess is what we've concluded.
Yeah, I think to keep me from droning on and on and on, I think maybe
Yeah, I
good
can
final.
yammer myself. So yeah, with that, so let me just briefly do the housekeeping side of things. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Jerod Lee. I'm the associate broker and team lead here at My Home Connection. Our sponsor is the perfect home buying process. We've spent the last couple of decades, trying to perfect the five-step process for home ownership. We've got just a lot of tools, a lot of techniques, a lot of information to provide for you from weekly podcast. So some real estate secrets that we want you to know. Lots of reports, comprehensive relocation and lifestyle guide, as well as a current promotion of up to $500 on your appraisal and up to $500 on your home inspection at closing. So if you want to chat about those a little later on, we'd be glad to help. But other than that, we'll get Chase back on here and chat a little bit about where we start with things to do in Idaho. I know last time covering the Treasure Valley, we covered a lot of parks, of which I
Mhm.
think is a great one, and we can certainly get to that. But just in the Boise area, man, my brain just goes to all kinds of stuff. So I'll probably let you kind of pick what we start with.
Like, there's some pretty unique things to do in Boise, right? I think you can't talk about Boise without talking about the outdoors, right? And with that is the extensive hiking and mountain biking trail system in North Boise in the foothills.
Yep.
I think that is a huge attraction. We're a heavily outdoor community, and I think that's a huge attraction. There's miles and miles and miles. There's a map out called Ridges to Rivers that covers all of the trail systems and the updates, and it is busy nonstop out there, with runners and hikers and mountain bikers. It's
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, that's a great place to start. I hopefully pulled up the map. Hopefully you can see that there. I have not been to this site, so bear with me here a little bit. But to Chase's point, this is a really great time of the year. Actually, looking at another mountain bike, and um, these are certainly the trails you would want to look at, all the way from down. What is that? The Armory behind the VA
Yep,
is a
yep.
great place to kind of hit that trailhead and take off from the trails, and you'll see just I don't even know how many miles, but I'm sure it's in the hundreds.
Yeah. Yep, tons and tons and tons of it. There's never ending. I think I've been on most of them over the years, right? Like, they're adding some new ones all the time, stretching out across the foothills there. But just, yeah, beautiful views, wildlife, scenery. It's incredible, and most of them start or end near a park. 8th Street's Camel's Back. Um, you got Dog Park, Fort Boise that you're talking about behind the Armory, and then Table Rock is is part of the trail system, as well as yeah, Table Rock is part of the trail system, and the one begins or ends depending on how you look at it. There at the old state penitentiary and the botanical garden. So there's a lot to see and do around there, and you can encompass a lot of things with that trail system.
Yeah, I think this was a really good start, Chase, because the things for folks that don't live in the area, this is a very outdoor, recreational based area, like the whole Treasure Valley. But certainly in Boise, you've got a lot of trailheads, a lot of parks to start. Hiking and biking is a big segment, certainly in the spring and summer,
Yeah.
to hit all these and some of these parks. I mean, obviously, they're not just the trailheads, but they've got all kinds of amenities within the parks. Volleyball, disc golf, and you know, some regular golf courses adjacent. So hitting all these areas you're talking about. I brought up Camel's Back here just to give you an idea of what one of these parks looks like. Oops, wrong screen. Sorry. But just to give you an idea what it looks like, to Chase's point earlier, once you get up to the top of these in Boise, you overlook the whole valley here, and it's just beautiful, just great scenery.
Yeah, it's incredible. Lots of wildlife, lots of deer and elk in the foothills in Boise. Depending on the time of the year. And all the parks in Boise are within walking, jogging, or riding distance of most of these places. So it's just, yeah, it's an incredible place to spend your summer.
Yeah, some of these will take you up into the foothills because as you head up north, west, you'll get the wilderness type of terrain, and
Right.
then the other parks are down by the river, and then the Boise River um, navigates through just from east to west through town here. So a lot of these parks are intermingled amongst the green belt. So you get a different sense of terrain, but all great parks in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a great segue too, because you start out with trails. Probably one of the most highly used trails is paved, right? And we call it the green belt, which goes right alongside that river, right through town, from one end of the valley to the other, pretty much at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing you'll get on the parks by the green belt here are restaurants and things like that where you can kind of pop off and do whatever else you want. Obviously, when you get up into the foothills, you're not going to see restaurants and other
Right.
things that you can do. But like on the greenbelt, you go down to Ann Morrison and you can go over to the Discovery Center, or the zoo's not too far from there. There's
Mhm.
restaurants all up and down the greenbelt. So depending on what you want to do, if you just want that kind of outdoor experience and you know get away from it a little bit, head up
Yeah.
north along the foothills here, where it says kind of behind the military reserve here.
Yep.
But then when you want to get down and have access to those quick amenities, restrooms and restaurants and other, things to do, come down to the Greenbelt.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. The art museum, band shell. There's always something going on in the parks in the summer here. And I think to it kind of tops off those foothills trails is you can actually go all the way to Bogus Basin, which is our ski resort here in Boise, right? So, you know, to Jared's point, you get to the northwest, and you're in the pine and mountainous vegetation, and that's where Bogus Basin is, and that is our local ski resort, which is a little bit smaller, but not a lot of places you can live and be 30 minutes from being able to ski and snowboard.
Yeah, this is a great place. So if you're in Boise already, obviously, either one of those, the parks and trailheads up along the
Hmm.
the northwest end of town and the Greenbelt, that's quickly accessible. I would say if you're downtown Boise to head up to Bogus Basin, what is that? 25, 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes, depending on where you're at.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and once you're up here in all four of the seasons, it's obviously well, I don't know about obviously, but it's a ski hill, snowboarding, kind of all the winter activities that you could think of. And then in the summer, they've even got a small little roller coaster ride up there, downhill mountain biking and trails, and the lifts are open. And sometimes they'll have concert series and things like that. So and that drive up there is gorgeous
Yeah, it is. It really is.
any time of the year.
Hmm. Yeah, and some of my favorite mountain biking trails are up there, especially as it gets hotter in the summer. It's cooler, the higher elevation, and more shade because of the pine trees and that. So
Yeah.
it's a great place.
Yeah. So I would
And
definitely
you can
say,
go there.
What's
The
that?
giant tubing hill in the winter there as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Did I just fly over that? Oh, must have. Or were you just commenting in
I
general?
think I was just
Uh,
commenting. Yeah.
yeah, tubing. I mean, it's all. Oh, they even put up a. Oh, they call it a. It's like a rock or a rope course. I don't remember exactly what they called it, but it's really well done. Up
Huh.
in Bogus.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, if you're afraid of heights, that's a good way to challenge yourself. Nerve wracking for sure, but yeah, the roller coaster is kind of fun. Great views
Which
up there, like I said.
that's a fairly new addition, right? A few years back, right?
Yeah,
They've been adding to the mountain every year, which is nice to finally see the summer activities get going up there.
yeah, yeah. I would say traditionally it's been more of a winter activity
Hmm.
hill, but they've definitely stepped up their game for the spring summer activities. So yeah, definitely hit up the trails and whatnot downtown. Go up to Bogus for recreation. I think we mentioned before, but like the Table Rock is if we head down that way, we'll see a number of different things, from a hiking, biking trail to the old penitentiary.
Hmm.
Um,
Gardens up there are just beautiful in the winter. They do a light show, and in the summer they're just gorgeous.
yeah, this is a great, like if you're in downtown, you don't even just wear your regular clothes and head up there and overlook the valley. That's a great, kind of couple
Yeah,
hour trip. And then
yeah,
while you're down there, there's the penitentiary.
yep. Which is fun. My kid, yeah, it's a fascinating museum. Um, pretty cool learning experience.
Yeah, they give you a tour. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a great tour. I was gonna try to get down to let's see, old Penn Penitentiary. Just kind of give them some more insight into that. Let's see here. Oh, are they giving us more? Yeah, there it is.
And there's the trailhead that's literally right next to the old pen.
Yeah, pick which path you go up. One's more challenging than other than
For
the
sure.
other. Just
And
a
I
pro
at
tip.
that on that side of town, you're getting into to go a little bit further northwest there, and you get into Lucky Peak, right, which is the reservoir. And in between here and Lucky Peak, there is you'll see rock climbers up on the mountains. You'll see fly fishermen on the section of the river between there and Lucky Peak, which is our we have a chain of three reservoirs, right? That starts with Anderson Ranch Dam, so Anderson Ranch Reservoir, then into Arrow Rock Reservoir, and then into Lucky Peak. And Lucky Peak is the deepest one there, right before you get into Boise, and then that final stretch of the Boise River starts from there.
Yeah, this is pretty much considered the launching point of the Boise
Hmm.
Greenbelt. So if you want to come up to the state park here and head down that Greenbelt, like 25, 26 miles. So that's a great day trip on a bike. I certainly wouldn't want to walk that, but yeah,
You're,
to
sho- you're showing Sandy. What is that Sandy Point there? The beach area,
uh
swimming area for kids and families, and the reservoirs up above that. Great fishing, water skiing, snow or wakeboarding. Very busy reservoir.
yeah, is it fair? I don't usually go up past Lucky Peak, but if you head up to Anderson and Arrow Rock, my understanding is it's just more to kind of be a little more remote. And
You used to be.
okay,
The growth is they're all pretty busy these days. As with Anderson Ranch, with all the UTVs and off road vehicles, it's become a popular spot for that. And then Arrow Rock's a little bit slower because it's a dirt road from Lucky Peak to Arrow Rock. So a lot of folks don't like to pull their boats and trailers up there, but it's still fairly busy these days.
yeah. So depending on how much congestion traffic you want, you'd either stay at Lucky Peak because it's not too far of a drive, or head up, get on the washboard, the dirt road, and head further
Yeah,
east, and try to be on your own. But like Chase said, with the population growth we've had here, that's you got to a little tougher to do, or you got to go a little bit further each time. But
yeah.
yeah, any of that is just a great day activity, and all the things you just mentioned.
Yeah, and there's a ton of not just mountain biking, but a lot of road cycling as well. And like I said, Jerod was just pointing out, the green belt starts from here, so you can ride all the way up there. Um, and you'll see a lot of folks doing that throughout the summer, and all, like I said, all kinds of fishing and activities. The Boise River is, packed with people floating in all summer long once the heat kicks up in the valley. And yeah, very, very, very outside community.
This is Barber Park, where most floaters will launch.
Hmm.
It's on the east side of town, not obviously as far up as the state park, Lucky Peak, but you could come here. They've got shuttles that'll meet you down at Ann Morrison, so you could float the better part of 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on how fast you're floating. But this is a great park. You can rent tubes and boats and rafts, all kinds of stuff. But you'll go here, you'll check in, rent your stuff, and then drop in and just start floating.
Hmm.
Very, for the most part, kind of a very casual float.
Yeah,
Some areas it'll
relaxing,
pick up a little bit, but what's that?
relaxing way to spend the day for sure.
Yeah, a paddle boating was the other one I was going to mention that you could do, paddleboard it.
Yep. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of that these days for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So that's Barber Park, and we'll let you know. We'll show you um, where you pull out, Ann Morrison.
Hmm.
So if I zoom out a little bit, Barber Park was down. Let's see, did I go too far? Yeah, Barber Park is here. Hopefully you can see my cursor okay.
Yep.
And then you float the river, pull out Ann Morrison, and then the shuttle bring you back.
And yeah, I think that's a great little shot of that map, right? Because you start there, and then you get to see all the stuff that you bypass, right? Like you're floating right by Warm Springs Golf Course, so there's golf courses right downtown. And as you go to get into downtown, there's Ann Morrison Park, which has a band shell that we talked about earlier, art museum, history museum, and then you'll also float right past Boise State, which is, I mean, if you're coming to Boise, you gotta go to visit the Blue Turf.
That's
That
right,
we're
Smurf
famous for
Bowl.
that. Yep, diehard Bronco fans here.
Yeah,
Um, and so, like so much of what we do is centered right down there around the river and around, all the parks are there. There's Julia Davis Park and which has the zoo. Cute little small town zoo. My kids love it. They spend a lot of time there in the summer, and yeah, it's just tons. There's ponds inside the parks uh, paddle boats and things like that. So
yeah, bumper boats and yep, paddle boats. Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything you could think of. I do want to show BSU just briefly because we talked about it, but you're going to float right by it.
yep,
Oh, here we go. I went too far. So, just this whole university area is done really well. Like I said, like we said, the greenbelt kind of cuts through here, but you can see the stadium, the university, the Morrison Center, you know,
hmm,
just all of that's in here. So I would highly recommend whether you pop out and take a look or just another day, but kind of tour the university for sure.
yep, yeah. It's growing so fast, so fast. I think, as you've gone through that, I think one of my favorite, it brought something to mind, and no, this is why I was like, yeah, we need to keep it short because I can just keep going forever, right? But I think it's all the little communities inside the community. Like if we're gonna tie this back to real estate and understanding and why you work with experts of the area that know where things are at and what will fit your family. So if the first place that we talked about was the North End, where the mountain bike trails are, and that's its own little community. And even within that community, you have Hyde Park, right, which is it's almost like a small town within the town, right? A suburb with hustle and bustle and restaurants and hangouts and stuff for when you're done riding. When we were talking about the reservoir, we went over past, which is a newer little community called Bound Crossing, which is same thing, right? almost a little village within the town there of restaurants and businesses and things and places to do and see. Um, and you get that all over the valley, right? There's Southeast Boise, which is a different type of community, different types of homes and activities. Um, yeah, and then you've got you get into Garden City, and the business centric area, but there's a ton of new residential growth along the river, and then you've got the Bench, which is a great little specific, mostly mid century modern homes, um, but each one of them has their own personality
Mm-hmm.
and their own activities.
Yep.
So yeah, obviously, that's what we do. I like to tie it back to real estate, and that's, they're all close to one another, but definitely very, very unique personalities to each one of those areas.
Yeah, I would say there's a, an overarching kind of general theme across the whole Treasure Valley, kind of the outdoor farmers market, recreation,
Yeah.
bands, concert series and all that. And then, like you said, in each city, Boise, Meridian, Eagle, they've all got their own nuances. And then to your point, there's even like micro, markets within each area,
Yep.
especially the Boise area. Like you
Yeah.
said, the Bench is different than Garden City, which obviously Garden City isn't Boise, but it butts up against Boise,
Right.
and that area is much different than the Columbia Village,
Right.
down here, and then the North End is way different than all of that. So you kind of got to
Right.
know, and what do you do? Which has quick access to restaurants, which has quick access to shopping, you know. What area has more events, what area has more services, hospitals and things like that. But yeah, all little personality traits in different areas for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I can't. I would be remiss if I didn't say, bring up my absolute favorite thing to do. So when my wife and I were first married, we lived in Southeast Boise. We were only a few blocks from Boise State, but our absolute it's hard to explain until you've experienced it. But downtown Boise in the summer is like no other place on the planet. It is a bigger city that has a small town feel, and if you go downtown in the summer in the evening, there's always something going on. Whether it's in Bodo, whether it's in oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank right there by the convention center.
Yeah, so Bodo is a Boise downtown.
Yeah,
It's got a lot of shopping. It's got a lot of food. So that whole area is Boise downtown, and then
this area
yeah, this
right here.
convention area. You know,
There's concerts there every weekend. First Thursday, businesses stay open late, but you can literally 8th Street, from one end of 8th Street to the next. There are restaurants and shops and things to do, and they shut it down. And you walk, bike, run. You can eat out on a pat. Almost every restaurant has a patio that you can eat out and enjoy the atmosphere and the weather. Um, it's just incredible. It's an incredible experience, and it's probably my absolute favorite thing about Boise is
yeah,
that
agreed.
is just spending the time down there.
Yeah, this is. I wish I was looking for a little bit better photo, but this is a little bit of what Chase was talking about. They blocked off 8th Street here, so cars don't go down here. But all these restaurants along here,
Hmm.
um, they have outdoor seating, and you've got hamburger places and pizza joints, and brew
All the way to Ruth
pubs,
Chris,
and what's that?
all the way to Ruth Chris now, and
Yeah,
anything in between.
yeah, yeah. So, whatever you're looking for, it's all blocked off, and they'll have farmers markets down there with, on like Saturday mornings. You go down there and obviously, pick up, you know, uh, your veggies and local veggies and all that.
Yeah,
So daytime, nightlife, like all of that's downtown here. Of course, the capital's downtown. Oh, there you go.
yep,
That's a better
right
shot.
there. Yeah, you can see all the patio seating and everything along the restaurants. It's just there's nothing like it. There really is nothing like it.
Got to see the Capitol.
Yeah,
Got to get
yeah,
inside.
and they've got Freak Alley down there, which is you showed a picture of that earlier, which has
Yeah.
developed in the last few years, where it's an alley that they let the local artists go crazy. Every once in a while, they'll change, and you get to see new art on the walls, and um, yeah, a really great way to bring that part of the community in.
Yeah, it's definitely not graffiti. This is very much a well done, well maintained, local artist going in here, and it's just, you just got to see it to believe it type of thing. It's really well done. But yeah, that's
Yep.
Freak Alley here. Yeah, so just walking around downtown, and then maybe like you said, go over to the Green Belt, go over to the Discovery Center, the zoo, or the library, or the museum, or name it. Right? It's all here.
It is all that, and there's so many things that we haven't touched on. I know our time is running short. There just really is. I mean, you've got the Egyptian Theater downtown that has that's a classic old theater that has shows, and they'll run like the classic movies in the summer, like Sandlot and Goonies and things like that. So it's just fun for the kids and families. There's so much. Like, yeah, I don't know how you'd covered all the Boise Train Depot, right? Which is a beautiful facility. I saw you bring up a picture of that.
Yeah.
Uh, just say there's no end to it. There really is no end to it.
Yeah, if you can't find something to do, you're not looking hard enough.
No, no. And that was like when my wife and I, when we first married and lived downtown, like that was our favorite. Like that's still some of the best times ever. We'd get on our mountain bikes and we'd ride down, find get on the green belt, which was only like I don't know, 3 blocks from us at the time, and then we'd cruise over to 8th Street and we'd go find a place to sit and eat, and or art in the park was going on, or there was a concert at the band shell. It's just a phenomenal lifestyle down there. Phenomenal.
Yeah, so just I haven't mentioned this to Chase yet, so you're kind of hearing it here first, but I want to start a series videoing some of these the trail systems. I'll get on a bike and take a camera out and do like a montage and give you an idea of what it looks like to ride the trail system down in each area, right? Do some trail systems in Boise, do some trail systems in Eagle, what have you. But I've really been thinking a lot about that, and this is a good time of the year to do that.
Yeah.
So subscribe, reach out, and we'll put them on YouTube and of course on our website. But if you like that hiking and biking type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That'd be fantastic. Looking forward to seeing that, Jared.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. I figured, if I'm already recreating, might as well have a camera on me.
Hmm. That's showing one of the events, right, in the park. They have the Bloom Festival every year, which is so much fun,
Yeah,
lighting off the balloons, and yeah, there's always something going on down there. Always.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty much year round. I wish the Boise River Festival is still going. I don't quite know exactly what happened there, but that was a great event. I'm hoping they'll come back.
Yeah, me too. At some point, I keep my fingers crossed. There was nothing like it.
Yeah, yeah. So we've talked a lot. We've covered already half an hour, and we just kind of blinked and time flew by. So we were trying to commit to keeping it short and sweet, but hopefully this will give you at least a taste of what there is to do. Let's see. There we go. So unless there was anything in particular that you absolutely wanted to cover today, Chase.
I think I'm good. I have to stop myself.
Yeah, still lots.
Mm.
So if you have any questions, just reach out to us, or ask us if there's a certain series you want, like restaurant. If you're foodie and you want us to go, pop into some restaurants downtown, we can maybe video those. I'm just throwing out some ideas here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in with that, man. That's yeah. Still one of my favorite things to do is try all the new restaurants in town.
Yeah, yeah. Well, very good. Well, let's make sure our folks know how to get in touch with you. Let's see, we got your website up here, and it's summitfunding.net.
Yeah,
Yep.
correct.
Okay. So Chase's contact information is all up there. You can obviously reach out to him for your lending needs. We highly recommend, first thing you do if you're looking for real estate, chat with Chase so that you can get a number of questions answered, so that you're not, putting yourself in a situation where you're looking at things that you you might not should, but
Right, right.
anyway. But yeah, otherwise, just to wrap it up, I want to repeat that we do have that perfect home buying process with that current promotion going on, and we'd love to help you out. So you can either comment below, or you've got our contact information Obviously, myhomeconnection.com. We got a ton of these resources, and some of these lifestyle stuff is on here. So if you're, hunting, fishing, guide, we've got a whole series for that as well. So that's available on our website. But yeah, other than that, look at that. We're right at 30 minutes, Chase. So we kept it under 40, 45.
There's time for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks again, Chase. Really appreciate it. And
Good time.
absolutely. We'll wish everybody a blessed one. Thanks.